A very good evening to everyone. My name is Saksham Sabarwal and I am a student of the NorthCap University and the video editing lead for IEEE TEMS. I welcome you all to the day 4, the last day of Illuminate, a platform for budding entrepreneurs organized by the IEEE Technology and Engineering Management Society, student chapter of the NorthCap University in collaboration with IEEE, CEA and IIC. Anything that can conceive of as a supply chain, blockchain can vastly improve its efficiency. It doesn't matter if it's people, numbers, data, and money. With these lines, I would like to welcome our speaker, Dr. Pooja Sapra, a prestigious professor in the NorthCap University. She is having 18 years of experience in teaching, research, and administration, and also an excellent team manager. We are so happy to see that one of our favorite professor has joined us for the webinar in our event Illuminate. The stage is all yours, ma'am.
So much, Saksham, and thank you so much, everyone, for inviting me for this webinar. And I guess I should not waste more time, and we should start. Saksham, I would be sharing my screen. Just check it out whether it is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Saksham. Visible? Right. So once again, thank you so much, everyone, for inviting me. Thank you so much, IEEE, for taking such initiatives, IEEE NCU chapter. And today I'm going to demystify the buzzword. The buzzword is blockchain. I hope you all have heard about this word. Maybe not the blockchain itself. Maybe you have heard about Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. As I used to get confused in 2018 about the same word, I used to call Bitcoin is blockchain itself. So today I'm going to demystify this thing. It's not blockchain. Blockchain is not Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not blockchain. I can say that blockchain is underlying technology of Bitcoin, but not the Bitcoin itself. So it's not at all confined with the Bitcoin, right? So today we are going to see all these things, and I'll start my webinar with this particular slide. See, I'm not going to teach you history at all. I'll just recall one very, very important day. And that day was 8 November 2016. If you know, if you remember, and you can recall that day, the clock struck 8 in the evening. And we all, and in fact, all Indians were coming from the office. They were sitting in their house and they heard a word in the news channel, and that word was banned. The currency was banned, and the currency included 500, 1,000 notes. And in his entire speech of 40 minutes, our Prime Minister Modi, he called black money. He took this name black money around 17 times. He said, we are banning this currency. We are demonetizing. Reason we want black money to be in front of us, right? So why this black money? Why every time he was using the term corruption, black money, corruption, black money? Because things were not transparent. And when this technology blockchain came, when this technology entered, then corruption-free India is the dream who one could see and is near to the realization if you are applying this blockchain. Why I'm saying it corruption free India, why I'm saying it everything would be transparent. This thing we would be seeing in the next slides, because everything is going to be transparent. You cannot hide even a single detail from the government, from the data, from the blockchain. Whatever you are putting in the blockchain, that would be transparent to everyone who is in the blockchain, right? So have we ever imagined a system that would become so secure and powerful that will transform the way of our economy, of our government system, of business functions, and all senses of trades, ownership, and trust? So this seems fascinating. Have you ever imagined living into a world where executing a real estate deal, buying the original piece of art, or accepting payment to a stranger without even knowing him, right? Without even knowing him, without even knowing the name of that person, You are putting the payments just on the trust of code, right? You are just trusting the code. So you are a developer, so you are a blockchain developer, and you have a code, and after that everybody is trusting on your code because you have developed a blockchain. Everything is put in the blockchain, so this becomes trustworthy. And have you ever imagined that? It seems fascinating, but this thing has been proved. So today I cannot say blockchain is a hype. Believe the words of this pretty lady. This is Ginny Rometty from IBM, chairman executive. She said, whatever internet has done for communications, blockchain will do the same thing for trusted transactions. So communications, in case of communication, internet is playing a big role today. And similarly, trusted transactions, right? So in that case, blockchain would be similarly active. Now the transaction doesn't mean only money. It includes contracts, it includes patents, it includes assets and everything. Maybe your music video, maybe your simple a piece of code, anything, whatever you are putting on the blockchain, that would become yours only. No need to go for that patent registry and everything. Nobody would be able to steal your data, right? So this particular story started in 2008, right? In 2007-8, world was going through a recession period, right? $11 trillion. It was a financial crisis during that particular year, and at that moment we could see blockchain into the market. And if you see this curve, in this curve you would be able to observe that blockchain started very fast, and it could create it could cross the chasm period very fast. So every technology which came into the market, it took some time to go to the peak, but blockchain is the technology, and after that quantum technology which is coming, right? So these two technology, they just started and shooted out, right? Reason was corruption free, right? Reason was that financial crisis, reason was demonetization, and then corruption free India, right? So who has given the birth of this particular technology? This technology started with the name Bitcoin. Now, what is Bitcoin? It is cryptocurrency. Each one of us know that, right? Now, Bitcoin was actually a research paper, a white paper that was published by a person named Satoshi Nakamoto. Now, this Satoshi Nakamoto, who is that person? Nobody knows. This identity is still unrevealed. A person, a group of person, or he or she, nobody knows that. So this paper was registered, this white paper was submitted, somehow it got submitted, it got accepted, and after that people started using this concept, right? And this concept became worldwide known, right? It disrupted the industry technologies also, industry revolution also. But what is this? Why this Bitcoin? Due to financial crisis, it came into the occurrence. After that, Bitcoin became so popular, but who did it? Nobody knows that, right? So after some time, this was the year 2009 to 11, it was the foundation day of cryptocurrency. After that, 2012-13, cryptography things were introduced into this. Then there were some buzz years, 2014 to 15 and 16 to 17. It was dealing with the public. It was under the debate, it was under the discussions, and finally in 2018, it crossed the chasm period and everybody was convinced of blockchain and adoption movement started. Like, and after 2021, this adoption was accelerated, and in fact, we are in that particular period. Like, if you see the quick facts from various industries, it says that 95% of companies surveyed are investing in blockchain technology. Deloitte says it. Gartner said, I hope you people know about Gartner. Gartner is, you can say it is a survey curve that is given every year that says which technology is into the market right now and which is going to be in the market for another 5 to 7 years. So it says that Gartner curve says that by 2030, $3.1 trillion, this would be the business value added by the blockchain. Walmart, they said when they introduced blockchain into their supply chain management, they said whatever we could do in the 6 days, that can be done in just 2 seconds by the blockchain. Imagine what is the benefit, right? So blockchain is expected to disrupt the banking and financial industry. it is marked as the hard skill for 2020 in the new report compiled by LinkedIn, right? Globe News Wire, it said $25 billion 2025. So this is the market valuation of blockchain technology, right? So still, if we say it is a hype, no, it is not, my dear students. It is going to be the technological revolution. Whether you talk about big data, whether you talk about machine learning, drones, robotics, cloud, Internet of Things, wherever you are putting your data, whenever you require an extra layer of security, you would be talking about blockchain, because it will promise you your data is your private information, is your private information. Nobody is going to compromise with that, right? And this is what we want: security, security, security. Spending a lot of funds on security, still reaching to nowhere, right? Still we say 100% secure, nothing is there. In case of blockchain, security is confirmed provided the internal factors remain constant, internal people remain constant. You do not forget about your account, you do not forget about your identity, right? There are few cases, there are few attacks which has come into the picture, but reason was not the blockchain, reason was human error, or the people forgot their account, the people did some mistake while putting the entries and all, right? So today I welcome you to the cosmos of blockchain, and let us try to understand these few concepts: who, when. So this would be my agenda today: who, when, what, challenges, what are the challenges, where it would be applicable, why we require blockchain, how we can do it, and the career growth, right? So let us start with what is blockchain. Now I'll be sharing my own experience, how I learned about blockchain and how I had an interest in this blockchain area. See, it was around 2018 itself when it was crossing the chasm period. It was under the adoption period. So at that time, I was chairing a session in one of the prestigious university, and I got to know that blockchain is some word that is somewhat related to Bitcoin. But before that, I used to think about कि blockchain means Bitcoin, right? So I was talking about Bitcoin, and people were talking about blockchain. So this was the thing that was happening to me in 2018. So I attended that conference for 2 days. I was there with the intellectual people, and I could make out few things, that blockchain is as early as internet in 1990. So it was in very early stage, and everybody was having that interest. Yes, I should go about this. I should learn more about this area, right? It was not the use case of internet. We cannot say like email is the use case of internet. If I'm saying that, this means it is a wrong statement, right? So it is complex to understand, but if understood, it has the potential to change the life in next 20 years, right? So last thing I got, that it is not spelled as Bitcoin. It is not at all Bitcoin. It is the underlying technology of Bitcoin, not the Bitcoin, right? Now let us start understanding what is blockchain, right? So blockchain, if you can imagine a ledger means you are putting some entries, whether it is in a register or it is a Google sheet or it is an Excel sheet, spreadsheet, wherever you are putting some entries, that A has given some amount to B has given some amount to A, what is the balance? So you are putting each and every entry in a ledger, right? Now if I am visualizing this ledger and I say I put this ledger on a cloud, right? I put this ledger on a cloud. I hope we understand what is cloud, right? So everything of this ledger would be visible to every other person. So whatever I write, I put it on the cloud, everybody can see it, right? So nobody would be able to do some theft, nobody would be able to say I did not give money to B. No, A will not be able to say I have given money to B or not, because everything is transparent. So you can visualize a ledger that now I can say it is a universal ledger, right? So because it is universal ledger, see, if I'm paying some amount to my friend and the person is sitting in USA, right? So in USA, if person is sitting, so what happens actually, this ledger is altered. It's not the case that the money I am giving to the person in USA, giving my friend in USA, that money will fly. No. What is going to happen? The only thing that is going to happen is change in this ledger, nothing else, right? Once you change in this, once you make any changes in this ledger, the person would be able to receive the money and he would be able to withdraw that money in his account, right? From his account, right? So this ledger is very, very important part, right? So whatever I am entering into this ledger, if it is visible to everyone, this means the purpose is done, the purpose is fulfilled, right? So I wanted to make it transparent. Yes, it is transparent, done. So what about what else we want? We want our private information to be private only. My privacy should not be lost. Along with this transparency, my privacy, if I'm saying A is paying money to B, and if someone sees that, whoa, A has a lot of money in the account, right? So let us have that, let us hack that account, right? Is bank में there is lot of money, so let us hack these accounts, hack the server of this bank, right? So it should not happen. Your information should be private, right? So this one big ledger, if it wants it to be private, if it wants it, it has to be private, then I must include some more technological aspect, right? You can imagine one thing, that whatever I am writing, that would be with everyone. This is available to A also, B also, C also, D also. Whosoever is on internet, he can see that, right? If A says, I have not given or I have not received any money from B, this means that C and D, if they agree on the fact, then it is okay. Otherwise, this statement is violated, right? Such kind of consensus also occurs in case of blockchain. If I talk about security, that is there. If I talk about provenance, provenance means whatever you have done in the past, that can be seen till date. You can backtrack all the records, you can verify the entries anytime. So trust is there, right? In traditionally, what was the approach was, I used to give money to my parents, I used to give money to my children, or I used to give money to my friends, that keep this money, this would be safer in your hand as compared to me. That was the trust factor. After that, a third party called bank entered into the system. When bank entered into the system, then nobody was trusting among themselves. So I was not at all trusting on my parents, on my children, on my friends. I was trusting on bank, right? And one fine day, this bank ran away, right? We know that a national bank ran away. So what happened to my money? Nobody was having that record. So the concept was, let us do not trust on bank also. So what we want trust, trusting not on the person, trusting not on the middleman. We would be trusting on a particular code. Code means blockchain. So you would be writing a code. In this code, you would be able to accept the files, accept the transactions, and these transactions, once a person has designed the blockchain, administered a blockchain, after that, there is no role of that person also. Once it is published, once it is released, once it is on the portal, then nobody can change it, right? Then we are trusting on this code, right? So we are moving from this centralized approach to the decentralized approach, which says that whatever be the ledger entry, now everybody, every node in the system, every node on the blockchain is having the same ledger, same ledger. So if someone says, I have not paid or I did not receive my amount, then nobody will justify that statement, nobody will validate that statement, right? Because ledger is with everyone. So there would be some validators who would be validating the transactions. So because everyone is on the blockchain, you cannot change your statements, right? So the centralized trust has moved to the decentralized, right? So what we removed the middleman. So if I am removing the middleman, what would be the advantage? Advantage would be transactions would be faster, it would be cheaper, because there is no middleman. Along with it, there would be private information that would remain with you, and for that, the concept of strong cryptography is used. What is cryptography? If your name is A, that will not be written as A on the blockchain. It would be in some coded form, maybe some hexadecimal codes, right? So B is not the same name. It would again be converted, right, into some hexadecimal codes. And how this cryptography mechanism works, this is the strongest cryptographic algorithms that we would be using in the blockchain. Nobody would be able to analyze that, right? No one would be able to break those codes. So now if I define the blockchain, what is blockchain? It is a backlinked, decentralized, distributed database of encrypted records. So I have records which are encrypted, I have decentralized approach, and these blocks are linked. So if I have put some data or transactions in block number 1, then block number 2 would be added to block number 1. Block number 3 would be added to block number 2, because this is dynamic, because once a particular block gets filled up, then another block has to be introduced, has to be created. So you can say that this is the chain of blocks. And what is a block? Block is something that is having the transactions. Transaction can be, I'm just refreshing it, transaction can be, it can be a simple monetary transaction, it can be a record, it can be land record, it can be any document, right? So blockchain is backlinked, it is decentralized, I don't want any middle person in between, distributed database of encrypted records, right? It's a data structure. Simply, we know, if we are the computer science students, we must be knowing about linked lists. So it is similar to that. It is simple data structure, right? So here the blocks are backlinked. B3 is linked to B2, B2 is linked to B1, right? Next, very, very important thing, it is an append-only transactional database. What does it mean? Append-only transactional database means you can append the records into it, but you cannot delete from it. Once you have written the entries or information in the ledger, you can verify that. As I said, it is provenance. You can audit that, but you cannot edit that. So auditable, yes, you can find each and every detail in the backlink blocks. You can verify this thing, but you cannot edit, you cannot delete, right? So that's why it is permanent. So I can say permanent record of who holds what with advanced cryptography, right? Now, Wikipedia says it is open distributed ledger that can record transaction between two parties efficiently and in a verifiable and permanent way. So it's open distributed ledger. P2P, what does it mean? P2P means peer-to-peer. Peer-to-peer means no central authority. All are equal, right? Permanent, a blockchain is continuously growing list of records called blocks, which are linked and secured using cryptography, right? Now I can say the use of mathematics. Mathematics means cryptographic algorithms to create a secure distributed ledger which enables the transaction without the need of third party. So this is blockchain structure, right? What are the features? As we discussed, it is a ledger, it is decentralized, it is peer-to-peer, cryptographic algorithms, the securest algorithm, SHA-256. This is used in case of blockchain. And immutability. SHA-256 is secure hashing algorithm, and it has the properties so that it is built in such a manner nobody can break the codes, right? Immutable means nobody can alter it, right? Now let us listen from the experts what they say about blockchain. So I'm playing a video. It will take just 2 minutes. You can see it.
I think blockchain is going to be a very critical technology for the future development of the world. It's not only about financing. Blockchain technology is not about Bitcoins. Bitcoin is just a small function of the blockchain technology. I'm a strong believer of the blockchain technology.
This is not about Bitcoin or digital currencies or crypto assets. It's the underlying blockchain technology. Now people can trust each other and they can transact with anything from money to music to votes to their identities peer-to-peer.
Bitcoin is either MySpace or it's Facebook, I don't know. But blockchain is social media. So at the macro, blockchain's going nowhere, right? Like blockchain's here to stay forever, and it's a very big deal.
Enter blockchain. Satoshi Nakamoto, 2008, anonymous person, came up with this way of people transacting, doing business with assets peer-to-peer. And trust is not achieved by a middleman. It's achieved by cryptography, by collaboration, and by some clever code. And what that means is that we now have a native digital medium for value.
Effectively, it's software.
Okay,
I mean,
so
it's a
what-
distributed database that's managed independently, and that inherent combination makes it a utility, makes it software effectively that has value and utility.
The business world of the future, say 10 years from now, is going to run on smart contracts. It's going to run on strong encryption and on, peer-to-peer based consensus mechanisms. So the core technologies underlying blockchain are going to pervade everything, just like the internet has, just like object-oriented software has, right? No.
So the choice, when I talk to people, I said, what do you think will be here in 2040, approximately 22 years from now? Will gold still be here? Well, it's been here since eternity.
Well,
Will the dollar be here?
Right.
I don't think so. And will blockchain be here? I think so.
We think of Bitcoin as a digital gold, so gold 2.0, but it's money, the first step of money that was ever built purposely for the internet. So it's sort of like what your email did to snail mail. Cryptocurrency or Bitcoin does for money.
Well, Bitcoin is exciting because it shows how cheap it can be. Bitcoin is better than currency in that you don't have to be physically in the same place. And of course, for large transactions, currency can get pretty inconvenient. The customers we're talking about aren't trying to be anonymous. They're willing to be known. So the Bitcoin technology is key, and you could add to it, or you could build a similar technology where there's enough attribution that people feel comfortable. This has nothing to do with terrorism or any type of money laundering.
Right. So Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, that is the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is same, but blockchain is different. So Bitcoin, whether it is a bubble, whether it goes up, whether it goes low, but blockchain is going to remain in the country, right? Now let us see, this is Anders Brownworth to explain the demo features of blockchain, how it works. They have created a platform, and the website you people can also explore maybe after the webinar or maybe along with it. But here you can see the first tab you would be getting is this tab. And here it says, if you are typing a word, some hash appears in the below, right? So you are typing a data and a hash appears. Why I'm talking about this? This is the strongest cryptographic techniques. So when you are just changing it with an exclamatory sign, you can just check it out, the hash becomes different. So with a small difference, this code will be different. So if you are putting Pooja _ Sapra, the hash would be different. If you are putting Pooja.Sapra, the hash would be different. Now, how to validate it? You can see another tab for this would be block. You can see above, its first tab for this would be hash and second tab would be block. Now, when I'm talking about block, whatever data you are writing that is required to be mined, you can see just below the screen, the last blue word, it says mine. Now, what does it mean? Mine means you are validating the transaction. Who is going to mine? In reality, here I'll press the button mine and it will validate the transaction that this is the block number 1 and this is the data that I have put into this, right? But in reality, who is the miner? Miner is the person or a node that would be validating it. And how it would be validating it? Through some algorithms. It would check all the entries in the blockchain and it would validate. It should not happen if A is paying money to B, that is $100, and he is not having $100 in his account because there is no bank who is validating. So who is going to check it? Miner is going to check it. Now, how the miner would do it? He would compete. Everybody would be a miner. Everybody would like to validate because reason for this is incentives. So miners are paid some incentives, right? So these incentives everybody would like to get. So being a miner is also very, very important part. How one would be a miner? He would do some task, prove that he is able to do the validation, then who would be this person would be considered as a miner, or this node would be considered as a miner. So mining involve lot of computational resources, algorithms, lot of things, lot of power backup. Then only a person can compete for being a miner. And why one would like to be miner? Because incentives are big, right? So to validate the transaction, this mining is done. Once you are changing the data, if someone is changing the data, you can see this would become pink and you would require it to mine again. So if a miner himself says, I would validate it, whatever you put that entry, I would validate it, because miner himself is intruder, right? He himself has not correct intuitions, right? Not right intuitions. So he will validate it. But in case of blockchain, if I change the data, if I change the data, all other blocks would also become pink. All other block would not be able to validate, will not be validated, right? There would be something called nonce that would be different. So this thing would be caught. And suppose this thing is also done by miners. They have a group and they say, we all will mine it, we all will validate, jo karna hai kar lo, repeat, just change all the entries. Then also there is another structure that says distributed blockchain. Remember, blockchains, all the data is not only with just one person. You would be having peers, peer A, peer B, peer C, peer D. There would be millions of people on the blockchain, because that is a public blockchain. So everybody is having the same data, right? So if you say, I'll change it, I'll mine this thing also, then what about other peers? Now, if you say, ki out of, suppose there are 6 peers, so out of 6, mein 4 ko, I'll say 4 people that let us validate it and let us have a big robbery, right? Then what is going to happen? 4 would say, yes, we did it, right? Another 2, remaining 2, they would say, we will not, right? They are genuine people, they will not do it. But these 4 people agreed. Then that would be called as 51% attack on blockchain. And that is the rarest of rare cases. Reason being, it is a public blockchain. You have millions of people on the blockchain, millions of nodes are there, millions of transactions are there, right? So this is very, very difficult to have the consent of, if 1 million means 50,000, 5 lakh people, you cannot have consent of 5 lakh 1 people to have that 51% attack, right? More than half people you want along with you, that we want a robbery to happen, right? So this blockchain, this says that, this proves the fact that it is safe, it is secure, right? So validation cannot be done in case you change the data, because it is distributed, it is in the blockchain, and it is private, right? Now, if you are thinking about how to learn this technology, whatever branch you are into, you can have the advantage of this technology, because it is the topmost layer on any of your project, Okay, you are going to learn about npm, node.js, web3.js. So the basic thing would be solidity in case you want public blockchain, right? So blockchain can be public, it can be private. Private means confined to an organization. But if you want it to be public, then it has to have some more security features, right? In private domain, we always expect that people are trustworthy. But in the public blockchain, you require more securities, right? So Solidity, Mist, MetaMask, these are the wallets, because every program on blockchain demands some amount, right? Every piece of code, every operation requires some amount. So there are some default wallets. There are some wallets which are inbuilt, which are test wallets, which are given to you to test your data, test your program, and after that you can use your own money when you want to put it on the blockchain, not test network, exact blockchain network, right? So you would be talking about Ethereum, you would be talking about Go Ethereum, Ganache. These are some of the tools which you would be learning, right? After that, I said, what is the difference between private blockchain and public blockchain? Once you are ready with what is public blockchain, what is private blockchain, and you are ready with your answer that I want to go with the public blockchain or private blockchain, depending upon that, which tool you would be using. For public blockchain, we always talk about Ethereum. Keep in mind, this is Ethereum. For private blockchain, we talk about Hyperledger Fabric. Hyperledger Fabric. So when you are ready with your mindset, which blockchain I want, you can go for Ethereum or Hyperledger Fabric, depending upon your need, your requirement, right? So there are a set of questions when you are going through a project. There is a set of questions that whether you are involving two or more stakeholders. If yes, then you must think about blockchain. If no, you should not think about blockchain, because it is just this is just standalone project. No user interference is required, right? So if multiple parties are there, then you are required to think about blockchain. If this transaction has to be public, this is the strong case for public blockchain. So this particular framework is helping you to decide whether a blockchain has to be considered or simple database would work for me. Traditional database would work for me, because ultimately blockchain, what it is doing, it is just storing the data. So once you are done with, yes, this selection, use case selection framework, you can always look forward for thinking whether you need to go for blockchain or not, right? Or private blockchain or public blockchain. Now, if I talk about implementation, who people or which companies are there who are implementing the blockchain technology? All big brands. You can see Apple, you can see Facebook, Google, Ford, FedEx. There are multiple companies which are using this for data protection, for transportation, integrity, healthcare, supply chains, all these applications. If I talk about across the globe, Dubai planned to become the first blockchain government by 2020. Due to COVID, things were delayed. Mauritius declared themselves, this country declared itself as Ethereum Island, because they started working on Ethereum itself. Every record is put into the Ethereum. Estonia, this government, along with Ericsson, they started moving their public records on the blockchain. South Korea, again, they started, along with the Samsung, they started putting transportation, public safety records on the blockchain. GovCoin, UK Department of Work and Pensions, they started putting their records on the blockchain to give automatic benefits to the users. So Venezuela, Russia, they are also not behind it. They are using, in fact, cryptocurrencies, right? In India, Telangana, they declared themselves, they have transformed, they have shifted all their agriculture records on the blockchain. And now, if I could not include that picture, that news, CBSC board, that has put every record, they are shifting to the blockchain, so that nobody can tamper that data, because this is the thing that we know in India, that we can see people in our surroundings, or we have heard in the news that a person has opened a hospital, but he was not even having the particular degree, MBBS degree was not there, but still a person has opened the clinic or hospital, right? So because of this document frauds, because of this document theft, right? So every record is on blockchain now, right? So CBSE has taken the initiative on this. Just few days back, this was in the news, and you can see the CBSE website for this. Now, another application in India, and which I find this is very, very relevant to India, because agriculture. This is something that is 16% of our GDP, right? So 120 million farmers, can you believe? And 12, these people are engaged in agriculture. And there is a specific number. And this number is really touching number. Reason being, 23 farmers in a particular day, they commit suicide. Have you imagined 23 farmers per day in India? And the reason is they are not able to get enough money, or in fact a loan, right? They are not getting paid properly. They are not getting the payment or the loan also from the bank, because land records are not available in the government or with them, right? So the farmers, they don't have land in their account, so they don't have any record, so they can't apply for a loan. So all the land records, if I shift on blockchain, sooner or later it will help me to reduce or make it zero. This 23 would be reduced, or it would be zero, right? So we have in case of blockchain, we are writing the smart contracts. Smart contracts means programs, right? In blockchain we call smart contract for a program, we use this term. So we are writing the smart contracts, government is doing it to help the farmers, so that they get fair price, they get their crops insured, the optimization of food supply chain is done, so it will help the farmers. Another applications, banking. Another application, healthcare. So few of the healthcare units, they have started working on it. They have started implementing the blockchain. You can see IoT, because you require secure data, you require all the data on the cloud, everything is on internet, so you want security, it should not be hacked, so the data has to be on a blockchain. So blockchain, again, supply chain, government, I said it started working on it. Fraud, educational certificates, I was just naming it. As I said, in case of medical, MBBS degree is not there and the people are opening the hospitals, right? Another use cases, these companies, this is the list from 2020. So bank and finance, supply chain, healthcare, insurance, energy, real estate, trade, government, IoT, travel, everywhere, right? Every sector, it is talking about blockchain. Now, what are the challenges when I talk about blockchain? What are the challenges in that? First of all, reputation. What does it mean? Reputation means people still think blockchain means Bitcoin. So this is something that I want to aware you people, that blockchain is not at all Bitcoin. So Bitcoin reputation, if it goes high, if it goes up, then blockchain, people think, yes, blockchain is something. But when Bitcoin goes down, people think blockchain kuch hoga hi nahi, right? Then it is lack of scalability. Scalability means how to increase it, right? People are still working on it. I mean, how much scalability, how much scalable it is, how much reduction. See, when we talk about mining, as I said, we are using number of resources, we are using computational power, we are using another resources. So this actually emits energy. So environmental factors are also there. You are scaling it, but you cannot do it after a particular limit, right? So for that, people are working how we can improve the architecture, how we can improve the organization, how we can improve that mining process, so that environment does not get affected. So scalability has to be there, but without any effect on it, it should be sustainable, right? After that, lack of interoperability, because there are many operating systems which are working, right? So every system has to be compatible, right? For that, again, research is going on. How complex it is, it depends how many participants you have, right? Again, research is going on. And the last is lack of blockchain talent, right? Blockchain talent means skill set is not there. Still, you can find there are many job opportunities which I can see on LinkedIn, which are still there since last 6 months. It is not filled. There are very, very less number of applicants. So if you do either Ethereum or Hyperledger Fabric, particularly this, preferably this, so Hyperledger Fabric, you would be getting a job for sure, right? Along with the whatever stream you are working in, along with whatever specialization you are working with, right? Go for this HLF, right? It will increase for project also, for your job prospects also. This is really going to help you out, right? Career options: blockchain code developer, software developer, cryptocurrency developer, program manager. So whatever we have software engineers, here also we would be having special software engineers with specialization blockchain, right? So it is a futuristic technology of digital economy, right? With this, I guess I could complete who did it, when it did, what it is, what are the challenges, application areas, why we require blockchain, how it is going to solve the problem, and how you can accept it in the career, right? If you have any questions, please let me know. And that's all from my side. Saksham, over to you. So my name, Saksham told all things. I'll stop sharing my screen and we'll move back to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such an informative and interesting session. We are very obliged
Thank you
for
so
your time
much.
and effort you took to share your thoughts and experience. And I would like to
Thank you
thank,
so much.
admire the enthusiasm shown by radio audience for being with us today. Thank you so much. So here are
So
some
no
queries for
questions?
you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, there are. So the first one is this.
So the first is, can cryptocurrency be the only currency for the world in the future? Anushka, right? So Anushka, actually cryptocurrency is still in the state of chasm. It cannot cross the chasm because there are some legal implications in cryptocurrency, right? So we cannot say it is the only currency that is going to be in the market in the future. Because it is just, if you imagine it like a stock market, sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down. So you cannot say it would be used as a currency, right? So it can be used as an investment perspective, but cannot be used as a currency in the country, in any particular country, right? From my perspective, it would be there. Dipanshu, yes, I would say that people are using. That's why my first statement was, don't get confused between blockchain and Bitcoin. Bitcoin still has many, many implications. There are legal issues, there are legalities which are involved in Bitcoins, but nothing in blockchain, right? So we in India, in fact, Mr. Arun Jaitley, a former finance minister, he said, blockchain we would be using in India, but not in cryptocurrency, right? Bitcoin we are not going to use, blockchain we would be using, right? How is the scope of yes, Vidushi, from the career perspective, I would say if you are more inclined towards security, definitely there is a scope, but you must have good knowledge about all the blockchain concepts, and you must have good knowledge about Hyperledger Fabric. Then only, because whatever job opportunities I have seen, these all include the knowledge of Hyperledger Fabric. So please go ahead with Hyperledger Fabric. Definitely you would be getting paid somewhat extra than other fields, right? Can you explain the challenges blockchain as technology is facing in India? See, India is a country where reputation matters a lot. So the very first challenge, that is specifically for India, and the last challenge, that is the lack of skill set, that is specific to India, right? So reputation means people are still thinking Bitcoin and blockchain are same, and they don't want to go for Bitcoin. So they are just discarding this technology, blockchain, right? It should not happen. Any other
So
question?
these were the routes, ma'am. That's all for today.
That's all. So thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you so much, Saksham and the team. Thank you once
Thank you so
again,
much.
all lovely audience. Thank you. Bye. Good night.